Hey guys, I'm Friendzone. Welcome to the Rundown. So today we're going to talk about the curious case of Jussie Smollett. So if you don't know, Jussie Smollett is an actor that plays a role on the hit show Empire on Fox. It's that show about this family that runs this whole music empire. They're singers, rappers, and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of drama. It's a pretty good show. I've watched it for a couple of years. I kind of slacked off on watching it. I think I stopped watching somewhere halfway through the third season. But anyway, if you haven't heard already, Jussie Smollett was involved in an alleged hate crime. I almost couldn't get that out. An alleged hate crime in downtown Chicago around 2 a.m. a couple of weeks ago. Now this story is kind of funny though. You guys try and follow me on this. So he was walking alone around 2 a.m. and he was going to get food, he said. And he was on the phone talking to his music manager. Okay, so there's these guys that were kind of following him, but they were a little further back, and I think across the street or something, but close enough to yell something at him, and he heard them. At first they just yelled Empire, he says. Yo, Empire! Then he said they yelled a couple of like homophobic slurs at him and racial slurs at him. Hey, Empire, F-word, N-word. Yeah, that shit. So that got his attention and he turned his ass around and was like, what the fuck you say? At which point these guys proceeded to jump him. I guess they beat him up pretty bad, broke a couple of ribs. I saw a picture of him that came out of this whole thing. He had like a bruise on his face. So it looks like he did suffer some kind of attack for sure. So I guess right before they jumped him, or as they were running up on him, he stuck his phone in his pocket real quick. And that's when all this stuff started to happen. But his manager was still on the phone the entire time and heard these things happen. And he confirms that they were using all kinds of racial slurs and homophobic slurs. And they were even yelling MAGA country, MAGA country. So after this whole ordeal is over, he as in Jussie Smollett, goes to the police station to make a report. But they want to see his phone. They actually want to keep his phone for like a week, he says, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they would need to keep it for a week. But anyway, he says that the police want to keep his phone for like a week. And he says, hell no, I'm not letting you keep my phone for a whole week. No, I have too much personal and private stuff going on as far as my correspondence with other people that I wouldn't be able to feel comfortable putting my privacy and the privacy of my friends at risk by letting you keep my phone for that amount of time. Which I thought, okay, that's kind of reasonable, I guess. I mean, it is kind of a long time to need to keep the phone. I think they even said that he did produce some kind of evidence as far as a screenshot of his call log, but the police said that wasn't enough. Just a screenshot isn't going to do it. We need to see the phone itself, we need it unlocked, and we need to be able to look at all the records of what's happening here. But he wasn't having that shit. So I also saw some footage on Good Morning America where two men were seen walking down the street. It's kind of dark, the footage, you can't really see it. But Jussie points these two men out and says, yes, these are definitely the two men that attacked me that night.
That exclusive interview with Jussie Smollett. He's answering questions about his story for the first time.
He really is, George. And the incident has sparked both an outpouring of support as well as questions about what happened that night on a cold Chicago street.
I'm pissed off.
What is it that has you so angry? Is it the attackers?
It's the attackers, but it's also the attacks. You know, at first it was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it, because it's the truth. Then it became a thing of like, oh, how can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that? It's the truth.
What happened that night, Jussie?
I went to the subway and got the order. During that time, I texted my manager thinking that he was still in Australia because he was on an Australian tour with one of his other clients. And I said, yo, call me when you can. He called me immediately. And while he was on the phone, I heard, as I was crossing the intersection, I heard Empire. And I don't answer to Empire. I kept walking and then I heard Empire. So I turned around and I said, did you just say to me? And I see the attacker masked. And he said, this MAGA country punches me right in the face. So I punched his ass back. And then we started tussling. You know, it was very icy. And we ended up tussling by the stairs. There was a second person involved who was kicking me in my back. Then it just stopped. And they ran off. And I saw where they ran. And the phone was in my pocket, but it had fallen out. And it was sitting there. And my manager was still on the phone. So I picked up the phone and I said, Brandon. And he's like, what's going on? And I said, I was just jumped. And then I looked down and I see that there's a rope around my neck.
You hadn't noticed it before?
No,
you didn't
because
see?
It was so fast. You know what I'm saying? It was so fast.
How long did this all
It felt
take?
like minutes, but it probably was like 30 seconds, honestly. I can't tell you honestly. I gave a body description and because I saw this, right here or whatever, but I didn't see, I can't tell you what color their eyes were. I can't tell you. And I did not see anything except the second person I saw running away.
The police have gone through a lot of video and they were able to capture an image of two people of interest. Have you seen that image?
Mm-hmm.
And do you believe that they could possibly be the attackers?
I do. I don't have any doubt in my mind that that's them.
That's the first time he's given a detailed account.
A lot of questions have been raised as well.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of questions, especially about the timing of the 911 call, about the phone records.
Now this is after the scandal has already erupted and people already don't believe him, and he had to go on Good Morning America pretty damn pissed at everybody for not believing him. But I mean, you have to admit, the whole thing is a little curious. Now hang on, it gets worse. He pointed out these two men in this surveillance video, so the police followed up on it. Turns out these two men were actors currently on the show Empire. What's really going on here, Jussie? So hang on a second, let's recap. He was attacked by two men, they poured bleach on him, they beat him up, all this stuff. His manager was on the phone at the time and heard the whole thing happen, so he's his witness, I guess. He went to the police station and made a police report, but they wanted to see his phone and keep it for a while. He wasn't down with that shit. Turns out there was some security footage of two men walking down the street, and you pointed them out and said, yes, those were the two men that did that to me. The police got wind of it, followed up on it, and then it turns out that these two men are actors on the show Empire, the same show that you're on? Hang on a sec. So it turns out there is surveillance footage of the area at that time when the attack allegedly happened. But, joke's on you. The camera was pointed the other way the entire time this attack happened. Now, I don't know about you, but this whole thing just seems kind of weird to me. It almost feels like a publicity stunt gone wrong, if you think about it. Sounds like it was some kind of stunt that was pulled off with some other actors on Empire, possibly, and they wanted to get that shit on camera, but they couldn't get it on camera because it turns out the camera was pointed the other way. Damn it. So now, people are calling bullshit, and you're mad. You're mad that your ruse has been busted, so you're on GMA, basically expressing how irritated you are that people aren't believing you. But when you look at it, it just seems kind of weird, right? The whole situation seems kind of weird, huh? The whole noose around his head thing, pouring bleach on him. The two people that he pointed out in the surveillance footage turned out to be black people, and they were both actors on Empire. Really? Come on now. So what's going on here? Why? Why this whole ruse? Seems to me like a publicity stunt gone wrong, but publicity for what exactly? For the show? What do you guys think? Because I'm just kind of curious about it. The curious case of Jussie Smollett. Leave your comments below. Please like and share. Thanks for joining me for the rundown. I'm Friendzone. Peace.
Tonight,